is our final session for the Legion of Gold campaign. It has been a rough couple of months for some of our players. Namely, they're on their third, fourth, fifth, sixth, something like that character. I'm not entirely sure. I can't count that high. I am the Drungeon Master, the world's favorite mildly inebriated game master, now 1 century running. I exist in a separate time stream, which is why it keeps changing every time I talk to you. Let me introduce our players who are going to finish up this fun session, say goodbye to their characters, and then we will reveal the next big thing we're going to be doing. So, in the usual order, starting from my upper left and going clockwise. My upper left is definitely not your upper left. We'll start with Ben.
I'm still playing as Noblebeak, the King Goose. Though grievously wounded in the last episode, he was able to spearhead and escape, and then damage the servers and computers of the mastermind of the facility, negotiating a tenuous peace treaty with the keen intellect behind the Legion of Gold.
And Heather.
Hi, Heather. I'm just around since not for
4 or 5
yeah,
episodes
she's
now.
pretty much ready to wrap this all up. She's tired of dealing with people. He's used to being alone.
And Ryan. Man, Rusty Crab.
I play Rusty Crab, who is a Gamma World veteran at this point in terms of character life expectancy goes. Which is a complete one
That's a record, isn't it?
from the way things were going for me. I was the drummer for Spinal Tap of our group. Just like every session, like I had a new character.
I got to tell you, Rusty Crab has really become a personal favorite. I think you should, as best you can, port him into Marvel superheroes. Oops. And
maybe we'll find out.
Wow, that would be. I'm gonna have to think about that.
He's traveling the multiverse, and he's just going to show up in Marvel superheroes. Maybe
that would be excellent. If only Charla had survived.
Oh yeah, you could have. Yeah, I still haven't brought the Bugums into my Cthulhu by Gaslight game. There just hasn't been a good time to bring them in yet. I keep them in my back pocket. For those of you who have been watching for a while, it was our second session, I think, that your previous character Charla opened a phase door, a planar shift door, shoved two insectoid humanoids through it, and I decided
then the jacked up one.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 3?
2 or 3. I thought it was 2.
The jacked one.
It was 3. Yeah, 2 regular ones and one that Stick had mutated into a big beefy one.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Yeah.
Super scary.
Well, at the time I decided the gate she opened up into another campaign I'm running. So those guys are going to drop in at the least opportune time. So, actually, Ben, you did a pretty good job of setting the stage for where we're at this session. You have just negotiated something of we'll call it a limited duration ceasefire with the vile force behind the Legion of Gold, Reaper. But you've managed to do a lot of damage in the meanwhile, and I don't think Reaper is going to necessarily survive his encounter, or its encounter rather, with you all. So, going over to the map, set the stage real quick. Matt, the IT help android, is looking about a bit confused, wondering what the hell just happened in here, and whether he has been certified to return to his IT duties. The Centurions are backing off. Jen, you and Noblebeak are in room... Oh gosh, which one's room W? You're in the... Oh no, wait. You are in room W. Is that room W? I can't see. Room R, excuse me. Which is the what appears to be some sort of main computer housing room for the compound. Reaper is starting to sputter a little bit. He's kind of doing that HAL 9000, oh shit, too many chips have been yanked out. Thanks to the amount of havoc you guys have wreaked. And you start hearing a soft chime go off. Ding, ding, ding. And a non-Reaper voice says, "Dangerous malfunction. Operator is required to isolate cybernetic unit and call Project Commander immediately." Ding, ding, ding.
Matt, do you think you can figure out what the problem is?
Matt looks at you and says, "I think we need to isolate the main cybernetic unit and call the project commander immediately."
Thank you, Matt. But can you maybe see if you can figure out how to isolate the affected unit? And then do that?
Matt, I'm making you the project commander of this facility.
Excellent choice, sir.
I am not certified to serve on cybernetic units. Although the designation of project commander does fill me with not shame, it will require me to receive certifications above and beyond that which I am currently capable of. For instance, I will need to have finished the 390-week-long Microsoft Cybernetic Human Brain Interface Program and Certification System in order to serve on cybernetic units. I recommend we call the real project commander as opposed to the acting project commander, myself.
You sell yourself short. Promoted you to bureaucrat 3rd class for fixing the communication and allowing me to receive the medical supplies. Bureaucrat 3rd class of the Goose Kingdom must be able to manage cybernetic capabilities, though.
And just make up a form and just gonna write it out triplicate and get it to him to like make his promotion legitimate. You know how he looks.
Yeah, it's very, very well done, my general.
That's how he's thinking.
Head scientist Rusty Crab will assist as necessary. Really, this is your proving ground. This is where we separate the real bureaucrats from the pretenders.
Can't even run this game right now. Sorry, guys. This form is in triplicate. It must be legitimate. And Matt scurries off back to the main computer room and starts like doing, the things that Matt does that usually involve, flipping switches and spinning dials and typing rapidly on keyboards. And he's very excited. You've just certified him to work on cybernetic systems.
All right, we did.
Reaper, feel we've come to some good understandings here with you getting to survive and us getting to leave. But there's close work we could do. My kingdom passes through this area twice a year, and there are often storms, and so I think this would be a lovely shelter for the Goose Kingdom as we migrate and search for the magic beans to bring us home to the Sky Cloud. Would you take payment of some sort for sanctuary in future years?
Define payment.
You've been damaged severely. Your functionality is low. I imagine that you need parts or things. fly all over the world, as far north as the great reaches of Canada, down to the waters of the Gulf. You may see things of use, as you can't create your own army. The Goose Kingdom may be the only thing that can provide for you.
I will make a counter offer, Noble Beak. 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 Leave Matt, the IT android, and provide him with whatever parts that he identifies when you come through here. And you may shelter in the forward spaces outside of the weather. My only other requirement will be that you clean after your elves.
This is acceptable.
Agreed. Reaper's got a much different voice than the ghoul I was playing last night. So with whatever Matt is doing, the alarm seems to be becoming less insistent. And now it transitions to a gentle tone. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Continue to monitor the situation. However, imminent danger has been averted. Thank you. Come again.
Good job, Matt.
So I pushed only into Matt, Rusty, and Charla, so Reaper won't hear this one until connected. Matt, I knew you could do this work. As a bureaucrat, third class should. It's possible one day you'll make second class. But to do that, you must report to me on what happened in the site. You'll receive a list of parts that will fetch so you can continue your work here. But you must tell me immediately if Reaper breaks any terms of the treaty. Find the nearest bird, let them know, and they'll find me. But not the ducks, for they are treacherous.
I'm being assigned here to work at an off-site location?
Yes. Perhaps one day we'll take you back to the Sky Cloud. But for now, a bureaucrat third class's work is here.
But I won't see my friends, Jen and Rusty, again.
We don't visit.
You.
Jen's a little misty because she's never had anybody be sad that she's going away. Everybody's always glad that she's going.
I don't think Rusty like fully understands that like the real difference between like Matt the android and humans. Like they're just iPads to him. But I think he is sad that Matt is staying behind.
I choose not to take insult at your omission. Farewell, bureaucrat.
I thought it improper to say that I would miss you, since you are the king, and you are with us always.
It's well said. And right and just. Thank you.
Matt's been paying attention. So he settles into his new office space. He kind of, cracks open his chest cavity, pulls out a picture on a frame and puts it on a shelf.
What's the picture of?
A computer. It's probably his mom or something.
Does he have a coffee mug with a quote on it?
Not yet, but I'm sure he will find one, and he will walk around
This
with
is
it.
good. I survived another meeting that could have been an email, one of those.
Yeah. I survived another meeting that could have been a brain transmission. King Noblebeak, I have a request of you, sire.
I'll hear your request.
Could you get me a human coffee mug which says bureaucrat third class?
It shall be done. It'll be the badge of office for you. Expect a visitor from the town within the fortnight.
And Matt returns to his IT duties, knowing that he has seen more of the world with your party than he ever did locked up in the IT department at Samurai Lab for several hundred years. You've made his life,
Charla,
better.
Rusty. Time for us to return to the strange cheese people and tell them of our success.
All right.
Rusty, before we leave, Rusty says, "Goodbye, friend Matt. You have truly separated the bureaucrats from the pencil pushers."
I would love to know where Rusty learned all this. Probably spent an awful lot of time watching old television or something.
It's whatever they had on repeat in the samurai offices.
Whatever listened to when they did the experiment.
I don't know if I know lobsters do. I don't remember if crabs have that gene that's like they just can't die, like if they were left to their own devices. So like Rusty could very well be like a few hundred years old before he was mutated into like a giant talking crab.
Who knows? What's really funny is when you read the Gamma World module stuff, the idea of what the authors of the Gamma World modules idea of what technology would look like 400 years in the future is just laughable to us. You know, this thing is constantly full of like, you know, if the player sees the computer tapes, they can review them. I'm like, computer tapes? What the hell? If I tell them that shit, they won't know what the hell I'm talking about. Oh well. But hey, one of the authors is now a lieutenant colonel. And not me. Okay, so you guys are going to extract from Legion of Gold headquarters and head back to oh good lord, what town was that? It was it Daryl you guys went to, or was that Fort Atson? Or no, it was Jeffton. That's what it was. It was Jeffton.
That is the home of the Lombardians.
Yes, the Lombardians.
The cheese people.
The cheese people, and good lord, what was that NPC's name? The real whiny guy. What? Ralph the Drama Queen.
Or Drama King?
Yep. And his wife, who was irritated all the time. So Ralph, gosh. We're going to go back and see Ralph the Drama King. So you leave, and it's just like this, a sense of oppression has been lifted off this area of the world. The Legion of Gold is no longer seeking to dominate. And it's time for you guys to spread the good word that the Legion of Gold has been contained. So back to Jeffton first.
Yeah, they're closest.
So 1 hex equals 2 kilometers. We'll call that.
Yeah, the bubble cars don't we?
Yeah, you still got the bubble car, yeah.
took off with it.
Yeah, you can fly there. All right, you pile on the bubble car.
I think I will be conveyed by the car this time. My wing is still a bit sore.
Who drove? Did Jen drive the
drove.
last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just like the.
Rusty, did you want to try?
I think it'd be funny if Rusty drove. Just picture like, all his claws and like like all their legs like
He uses
manipulated.
ice socks up above the like dash.
cut two, or well, he's Paul like cut two holes in the roof of the bubble car, so it's like his eyes stick out.
And every once in a while, it's like, there's a bug in my eye.
So after
This should really come with a secondary windscreen.
They made for Rusty, but maybe we can ask for some modification.
After a fairly brief period of travel, much faster than the first time it took you to get from Jefton to the Legion of Gold headquarters, you arrive over the bustling non-metropolis of Jefton, where they are rebuilding after the Legion of Gold attack. And as you fly over, you can see all the yokels come out of their shanties and hovels and shacks and temporary lean-tos to look up at what these darn fools are doing up in the sky. You can
Hold
pick
for a
out
moment, Charla.
Ralph, the Drama King.
Hold here. My subjects will announce my presence. So as the car kind of hovers, a flight of geese goes overhead. The flying bee just sort of fly over before arching back and then landing down there, creating two equal ranks, and all this just go straight to attention. Winks their side, neck straight up. One of them just goes, honk, 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 honk.
Please, somebody dropped a bomb on Ralph, please. Oops.
Yeah.
Much agree.
All right, you man.
Does the bubble car have like a stereo or a radio in it?
Yes, it does actually.
I'm fishing for one more excuse to play the mini game before we wrap this up.
Oh, well, I mean, you never used one before.
I want to see if Rusty can plug in the Mark I communication device into like the car stereo.
That calls for mini game. All right, folks, we're going to play the mini game in order to determine whether Rusty can attach the Mark I crustacean communication device into the car stereo with external speakers. Because that's the way they rolled in the future. That's the way whoa, there was some weird temporalness in that sentence that didn't quite work right.
A lot of tense shit there.
Yeah. Fun fact, any Indo-European language you cannot speak except referring to quantity and time. Every sentence is constructed around those two concepts. All right, Rusty, I've moved you on to... Did I move you guys onto the map? I hope I did. Yes, I did. I moved you on to Space S for start. You still have your old name on the mini game of Whisper, but that's you all right, Rusty. So.
Oh, and I think, let me just double check. I believe I have a -2 to my rolls when doing research.
Your intelligence.
Heightened intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to. Yep, I can. Yep, I can subtract 2 points. All right.
Okay, so you got the crustacean communication device in one hand, and you're looking at the leads coming out of the car's sound system with the other, and oh, wait a minute, wait, this port here, this looks like it does something. Oh, wait a minute, here's the frickin' switch that says trial mode. Try me. All right, good. Getting somewhere.
Oh, stay put. Still 6.
Oh, I can't find the right cable. I'm sure there's a cable in here. Jen, can you check in the glove compartment and see if there's any cables in there that may fit this thing?
What does ox mean?
That one doesn't work. Device not recognized. What the hell does that mean? Incompatible file type. Jesus, Joseph.
I'm still stuck here. There we go. A breakthrough.
Oh, wait a minute. If you swipe up, it'll auto-convert the files to the right format. Holy smokes. The car's smarter than my device.
Apparently, aux was short for auxiliary.
Yeah, I don't want to admit how long it took me to figure that one out.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, yay! Oh! And with a click and a hum, you can tell that you are now connected to both the car sound system and the external speakers.
So I picture like Rusty trying to do all this while Noble Beak was giving orders. So when he says like, okay, set it down, Rusty pulls the car over, and just from the speakers, like all the villagers can just hear Rusty's voice through the talk box saying, "Greetings, cheese eaters. Show some respect."
You hear Ralph shout, "Oh my God, is it the Lombardi?" Is he gonna have the hat?
You may announce me, Rusty. Carry on. Royal Crier is your other title. Royal Scientist and Royal Crier.
I'm sorry. I keep losing it. This is just hilarious.
Gaze upon His Majesty.
So the yokels of the shantytown formerly known as Jeffton are now kind of gathering around like, what's that? Are them's geese? Them's are geese. They ain't got no cheese heads. They're not worshippers of the Lombardi. What's going on here? Ralph, you go talk to them. Everybody likes you, Ralph.
It's time for us to exit the vehicle and make our appearance. I follow you, my generals.
Get out of the car.
Rusty gets like hooked on the like. He still has a cable plug
Hang
in.
on. Need some help, Rusty?
I can manage.
Oh, it's Rusty and Jen. How y'all doing? Did you guys find Legion of Yeller metal cheese? Did you find where you're looking for?
He did. He did.
Peasant, dare you ignore me?
Is that Goose talking? No, I didn't hear nothing. But it was in my... The goose is in my head. The goose is in my head. And
That's someone with more brains.
Jen just sort of like leans over to Noble Beak and like her breath is like, "You're a little bit simple here.
I see
Try
that.
not to scare them too much."
plus Ralph's the drama king, right?
As you prepare them for who I am, but find someone smarter than this one.
Okay.
Ralph's wife appears, who I don't recall ever having given a name to.
I don't know. Oh, hi, how are you?
Is Ralph bothering you folk again? He's not a bad man, but he's about as simple gets. Plus, everything's got to be a production with him.
Long-suffering wife.
How are y'all doing?
Yeah, Ralph's long-suffering wife.
Yeah, he's... Ralph, go sweep the steps and work on the lean-to. Yes, dear. And Ralph kind of heads off. So, tell me about the Legion of Gold and how that went. And did you see the Lombardi in your travels?
Not the Lombardi. Unfortunately, we lost Stick and Laserbeak.
You lost... that's not Laserbeak there?
Gestures to No, this is Noblebeak. This is... Noblebeak is king of the geese. So he is the leader of Laserbeak's clan.
You may call me Majesty. That's fine.
Well, It's a pleasure to meet you, Majesty. Were you kinfolk to Laserbeak? Because you look just like him.
The differences among our people are hard for you all to discern. But no, he was a seeker for our kingdom, looking for the magic beans that would return us to the Sky Home. You haven't heard of any magical fruit here, have you?
If there's anybody in this village, such as what is left, who knows anything about magical beans, it's going to be my husband, Ralph. And I don't mean that in a good way.
It seems to be a common response to this question. Understand the reference here. Why does everyone laugh when I ask for magic beans and magic fruit?
Well,
have you heard the story of Jack who stole the golden goose and cost us our home?
I have indeed. My mother told it to me when I was very young. What are you doing?
It's good that you're not totally uneducated here and that you're told of the horrors laid upon our people.
And it was one of the Mother Goose stories she read me out of a real old book. So it's an old story.
Mother Goose is an acclaimed storyteller among our people. We all took from her knowledge. She kept our traditions alive.
Well, Your Majesty, Noblebeak, is a right pleasure to meet you. Now, what happened to Stick?
Stick was killed. He didn't admit it.
That's a darn shame. I like that little man. I mean, he was kind of funny. Man, he was a sharp dresser.
He was a very snappy dresser, yeah.
Truly a loss for fashion.
Indeed.
Well, what can we do for you folk?
Charlie, why don't you tell these people what we have done for them? And Rusty, of course, chime in with your exploits as well. I have a proposition for them once you have told them of your great deeds in the name of the Goose Kingdom.
Yeah, we found their lair and we did, I'll call it more than sufficient damage to hinder their operations, and they will no longer bother you or anyone else in this area.
Oh,
perhaps we have met the Lombardi on the road.
Thank the Lombardi.
We have made peace.
Praise Jesus. My God. I almost feel bad about that one. That was awful. What am I kidding? I thought that was.
I'm just looking for the Get Out gift right now.
Yeah, exactly. Go with your rotten jokes. It's real good to hear, folks, that that then their legion of gold ain't gonna come back no more and hassle us working folk and villagers. That's real good news. I'm sure down in Horn they're all looking forward to hearing that news.
I feel that there should be more to this relationship. Obviously, the Legion of Gold Wars must remain off limits to the people of Jefton. But I also want to pledge my kingdom to help protect this town from future exploits. Should Reaper go back upon his word. However, to do so twice yearly, you must pay a tithe. A tithe of cheese. As my kingdom migrates from north to south and south to north, you must lay out some of your best wheels of cheese for us to feast upon as we pass through. And for this, you shall have our protection.
Well, we hold this village in tight to the barony of Horn, and he is our feudal overlord. And as such, I cannot enter as the acting mayor of Jefton into a secondary feudal agreement. That would violate the feudal overlord principles and the entire concept of feudalism in general, in which land is granted unto the lower ranking people by people who are higher than them in the social strata in exchange for protection. Now, I hear you offering us protection, but you cannot also grant us land. And nor can I agree to provide my loyalty unto you in exchange for military service and protection. Therefore, I will tell you this, Your Majesty Noblebeak. We will put the cheese out for you, because you have done a right and glorious thing. And we will accept whatever aid you choose to give us, but we cannot pledge fealty. That has already been pledged, and we cannot break that troth.
I was not seeking a pledge of fealty as such. The agreement here, as you laid out, I think is more than sufficient for this. I've no interest in ruling among the bipedal humanoids.
Well, think of it as our way of expressing our favor to you, Your Majesty, and your friends for their mighty deeds done.
I greatly appreciate your noble offer. There's a way for us to repay your kindness in the future. You have a friend among the geese.
Well, you have a friend amongst the cheeseheads. Praise Lombardi.
Praise Lombardi.
Oh, God, I cracked myself up. Jesus. Oh, man. The long-suffering Ralph the Drama Queen's wife, acting mayor of the town of Jefton, who has just got the name of
She's
Edith.
way smarter than he deserves.
Yeah, that was actually a really good rundown of feudal relationships she gave you.
It really was.
Edith, who knew? Who knew that she was an expert on feudal relationships? Anyway. So she thanks you again and then says, well, I got to get back to getting things organized here because Lord knows Ralph can't organize well, let's just keep it PG-13. He can't organize much, let's put it that way. Probably broke the broom. I don't know what the hell I ever saw in him. Oh, well. And
Let us return to Horn to announce our success. I need you to stop at least 100 meters outside the city gates.
Yes, Your Majesty. Rusty, did you want to drive again?
I like Rusty the Driver.
All right. So flying roughly south by southeast for, let's call it 50 kilometers, you arrive at the major road junction upon which sits the town of Horn, the baronial seat of the Baron of Horn, feudal overlord of this area, and to whom the people of Jefton have pledged their fealty. And you said you're going to land about 100 meters outside the gate?
Yes.
From your landing site, you can see the gate guards. They're like, why are they? You see them kind of peering. Why are they so far out? What are they thinking? Huh.
So a giant flock of geese comes in and lands. They're talking about 50 in total. And just soundlessly, they arrange themselves into a column of 2 lines. And they're carrying this wild and motley array of stuff, like things that they clearly believe are very valuable, but in reality are trash, right? Like pieces of foil, bottle caps, an aluminum can here and there. They're all very tiny things. Yeah, they're all very proud of these possessions. And they start marching in. And as they march into town, it's clearly like a parade. And it's just a honk 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 honk.
Well,
Come, this is for us.
Your parade of geese is attracting a lot of attention from the locals. People are coming outside of buildings to watch. Little kids are like falling in behind to march with you guys, carrying sticks, as acting like drum majors. One little kid runs in front and he's like, doing this number, all proud of himself. And in general, people are like, are those geese marching in formation? Are they actually in step? Those geese are marching in step. This must be the best circus ever.
Royal Crier announce us as their saviors, as their heroes.
Oh yeah, I guess Rusty would have to hook back into the PA.
Do it.
The bubble car follows behind, like kind of like the Grand Marshal of the parade here. Just like the top thumbs off. Charla and the rest of the front seats. Noble B's in the back, just preening, head up high, look like this, speak up, accepting the adulation. Yeah, a couple wing flaps here and there.
It's just sort of like.
Does that make Rusty like the Grand Marshal of this parade?
Yeah.
It's just sort of waving, but like ready to dodge in case somebody throws something at her.
Ooh, wow, ow, neck pain. Ow.
Wait for the rotten fruit.
Don't get old, guys. It hurts. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, better. Ooh, not better. I'm gonna sit up straight. So, as you proceed through,
He ran up the stairs.
yeah, it's funny. I can run like the Dickens, but moving my head back and forth is sometimes a little twingy. But as the goose parade, oh my god, as the geese goose step through the town.
That is true. That's how they work.
You see Mayor Frump, who Noblebeak does not recognize, but Rusty and Jen will recognize. And some of the crowd is going, is that Jen? Oh my god, she always just pisses me off. God damn it. She's going to start trouble again, isn't she?
And it's just like, I never started, but I always finish it.
And Mayor Frump steps out in the road and says, hi? I'm assuming there's a good reason for this, right? Jen, what are you doing now?
Oh, look at me.
It's always you, Jen.
It's just like,
This is just to Rusty and Jen. Rusty, make them put respect on my name.
Rusty looks at Mayor Frump and says, "This is His Majesty, Noble Beak."
Did you miss hype man training? Because that was not. I'm not hype after that.
and
Hello,
just starts to get like,
Your
and
Majesty.
starts to tense up, like starting something.
Noble Beak. Welcome to the town of Horn of the Barony of Horn. Perhaps an audience can be arranged with the Baron.
This would please me greatly. Your liege and I have much to discuss. For too
Indeed.
long, the people of Horn have shooed away my people, yelling at them, waving brooms at them, driving us from the comfortable spots by the water. And despite that, we have saved your town. There's much for us to negotiate.
Your Honor, put some respect on his name, or get it out your mouth.
Said Rusty. And just like pats Rusty on the shoulder, or the like, whatever the corresponding bit of his therapist would be.
Well, again, as I said, welcome to Horn, Your Majesty. I see your goose legions are christening the street in their traditional way. Jen, what's up with the Legion of Gold? Have you
They do your town great honor.
found them? Rusty? Jen?
Yes, we found the Legion of Gold, and we disabled their most of their capabilities. They will not be bothering anyone in this country again.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you take the bubble car over to where you got it from originally, the garage, also known as the car hole, and old school Simpsons reference there, and meet me at the Baron's house, and we'll debrief you with the Baron. How does that sound? And of course, Rusty and Royal Beak, was it? Noble Beak, excuse me. I beg your pardon.
Granted, though my patience is tested.
Don't test him.
Right. Okay. Well, I will meet you over there in just half a moment. And a couple guards come trotting over. Hey, do you need us to take care of the bubble car for you? Or do you just want to walk over? Or do you want to park it yourselves? Or
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, great. Think of us as your valets for the bubble car. We got you covered. Hey, Frumpy!
Rusty.
I'm sorry, Major Frump, Mayor Frump. We're taking care of the car for them. They're just gonna walk up with you, okay, Frump? Mayor Frump. Okay. Thank you, Corporal.
Rusty, give them a tip.
Rusty throws the keys to the one guy. He's like, "Easy with it. Don't scratch the paint job."
Right. Okay, Mr. Krabs. And they take the bubble car off, and you can walk up to the baronial seat with Mayor Frump, a.k.a. Frumpy to those who have known him since he was a young lad. He ushers you in and into the baronial seat, and they After a few moments, you are walked back to a comfortable-looking library, well appointed, fairly plush. There's a guard standing outside it, wearing sheath armor, carrying a duralloy shield, like you've seen before, and he sees the mayor coming with you guys in tow, and he knocks on the door. You see him pause a moment, then he opens it, and you hear him murmur something inside. He waits a moment, nods, and then opens the door all the way. Mayor Frump, you and your party are... The Baron will see you now. Mayor Frump says, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. They go in, and there's the Baron sitting at his desk, leather pointed. He's kind of chubby. Looks like he was once a doughty warrior in his day who has since aged out of the warriorness and into the dowdiness. Dowdiness as opposed to dowdiness. Mayor Frump, are these the warriors you sent off to find the Legion of Gold? But where's the little one? Oh, he was such a sharp dresser.
Stick did not survive the campaign, unfortunately.
Truly a loss for fashion.
I have to agree with you there, mister. It was Rusty, right? Rusty Crab. That man.
Affirmative.
That little. I don't want to call him a man because he was so short. But that little fellow, he could rock a yellow vest like no one else could. It was amazing. I could never pull that look off. But anyway, more importantly, tell me what happened.
As this is happening, Nolik just looks at the most comfortable chair in the room and like jumps on top and settles himself in there, sitting down and putting his head up like that.
Well, your pet certainly made himself at home.
Sir, he's not our pet. This is Noblebeak, the king of the geese.
The king of the geese. I see. Well, Noblebeak, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It is nice to finally gain your attention, Baron. We've tried for many years. My messengers are continually driven off by your guards.
It could be a case of, it may be just a failure to communicate. Sometimes interspecies communication is difficult. We don't always recognize when each other are speaking.
I do not find interspecies communication difficult.
Well, Rusty, you've got certain advantages that perhaps somebody without a talk box to translate their thoughts directly into language would have. I'll have to think about that for a while.
Though he raises a excellent point. It would be easier if we could develop more of these devices, and I know of no greater scientist than Rusty Crab. Truly a brilliant mind. As much I'd like to negotiate with you, Baron of Horn, as one ruler to another. I think our kingdoms and your barony have much to benefit from a long and fruitful relationship.
Well, let's get to the negotiating of international agreements in a moment, but first I need to debrief you fine folks on what happened at the Legion of Gold.
Yes, General Jen will fill you in on her military genius.
General Jen now. Big promotion from irritating everybody in the entire town.
Field motion. Now I can say it's part of my job.
Well, it's working.
driver exits, sir. All things.
So what happened?
We identified the location of the headquarters for the Legion of Gold. We were able to gain entry, and we managed to save some of the hostages, some of the villagers that they'd taken hostage from other village, and we proceeded to wreak a little bit of havoc, and we caused enough damage that it to the facility that their operations are extremely limited, and reached agreement with them that they will not harm or anyone in the country again. They will not kidnap anybody. We left a very reliable contact there, so that will report back any untoward behavior, and so that we can keep an eye on them, and it shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Well, I have to say, Jen, that was rather clever, because you've ensured your own personal well-being by ensuring you have a job, since you're the only one who has the trusted contact and has negotiated the agreement.
Which agreement? I would have been Noblebeak that did negotiating.
I see.
I was merely the muscle and had
the contact is mine, though General Jen is his favored means of communication. As I said, we have much to negotiate for the long-term security and strength of both of our fiefdoms.
Do you have coordinates on the Legion of Gold headquarters?
We will not reveal those to you at this time.
Is it or is it not in my territory?
I don't know what the bounds of your territory are.
That's okay. We'll just download them out of the bubble car. But let us return to the other item of discussion. What type of agreement do you wish to negotiate with us, Noblebeak?
Well, the first piece is not even for negotiation. It's the Horn will cease harassing geese as they pass through here. No more brooms, loud noises as my people land by ponds and lakes. I feel that's a gesture of good faith that's required for us to continue.
So let me ask you this, Noblebeak. Is there a differentiation between your people and unmutated geese? Are they both part of your kingdom? Or is there a way we can differentiate? Because
I do view them all as part of my kingdom. However, the unmutated ones have sadly failed to recognize this. Each time we encounter them, we're forced to assert dominance through hissing and eye contact until they turn away. You will know my people by the way they stand their ground. We're working on some kind of marking as well, but we don't have a tailor. Sadly, I hear Stick is unable to accommodate this anymore.
Well, how about this? Any goose which lacks the noble bearing of one of your sworn members, what's the word I'm looking for? A sworn member of your goose nation. Could we consider them to be not part of your nation? Should we look for their
yes,
nobility?
I would ask you remove them kindly. They are brothers of a sort. So if you must remove them, I understand they're a bit more dirty than we are. It's regrettable, but please don't harm them as you do so.
Well, they also make for a fine meal, though.
I must ask that you do not. However,
I can see Heather like,
ducks.
don't talk about eating them. Don't talk about eating them.
Ducks, however, please feel free to eat as many as you would like.
About the swans. Swans too.
Yes, the swans can be eaten as well, though they've already largely been vanquished. But we don't want a swan insurrection on our hands. Thank you. Good call, General.
So, if I direct,
And also, in honor of my head scientist Rusty, I must know too. Any goals you see, feel free to harass as cruelly as you wish.
I see. So in exchange for me decreeing that the citizens of my barony will no longer hunt or eat geese, what can you offer, Your Majesty?
I would feel that some of this should be just in gratitude for having saved the people of your kingdom from the menace of the Legion of Gold. On the negotiation front, I feel there are things to discuss, but I feel this is just the proper and just reward for, again, removing a existential threat from your rule.
I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you, and Jen and Rusty, because I've met with you before, what guarantees do I have that my citizenry are safe? I don't know where the Legion of Gold headquarters is, even though I'm sure I'll be able to find out once we go into the GPS system of the bubble car. I have your word for it, but as you note, Noblebeak, it is an existential threat, and I do need a little bit more than just assurances that such a dire threat to my people has been dealt with. And I'm sure you can see things the exact same way, being a leader yourself. As an ancient philosopher once said, you can trust, yet you must also verify.
Those were truly wise words from a man known for carrying a ray gun. But
I think he was the developer of the Black Ray Gun. Instant kill any organic object.
We have left a most capable bureaucrat behind as a double agent.
One of my bureaucrats? I didn't.
No, one of mine.
A goose.
No.
No.
I have many servants, many bureaucrats. He is among my most capable. I can also pledge to you that twice a year we will verify that the foe is adhering to the terms of the treaty they agreed to. My geese inspection teams will cover the facility and make sure there are no new abductions. Yes, Rusty.
We have top men working on it.
Top men indeed.
Top men.
Yes.
And geese. Top geese as well.
Men.
So the Baron kind of leans back for a second, much like I'm doing right now. Can I offer you some refreshments? Because I sure need one.
Please. We'll happily take your finest breads and cheeses, and if you have some mulled wine, that would be lovely. And please, for my general and scientist, whatever they ask.
General Jen and General Rusty. Would you care for anything?
I would appreciate a drink, sir.
A bucket of water would not go unappreciated.
Could you send in a plate of cheeses and breads, mull some wine, and a water in a bowl or a bucket for the crab? And some more ice, please. Thank you. After a few moments, a liveried servant comes in with a bucket of water for you, sir, and presents the cheeses and breads and a small cup of mulled wine for Royal Beak.
This is a most excellent spread. Thank you, noble host.
And he pours you a drink, Jen. Jen, we're not going to get drunk and really piss everybody else off, are we?
I never get drunk.
Do you remember the riot 2 years ago?
I did not start that.
I remember the
started
riot.
Yeah. I just finished it.
Okay.
She is most excellent at crowd control.
Good distraction. What can I say?
So you are going to send a geese inspection team into the facility, the Legion of Gold headquarters, compound, facility. What's the right word I'm looking for here?
That's probably a good
compound. Okay, twice a year to ensure treaty compliance. So what training will these geese have in order to ensure that they can ensure treaty compliance? What type of inspection training are they going to have? Communication, security.
So every git is intelligently constructed. My gits are the smartest, most capable. One of my bureaucrats, level 2s, leads the team, accompanied by a member of my personal honor guard for security. And one of the scientist geese. So they'll be able to go and verify that there's been no additions to the facility that are outside the bounds of the treaty.
Scientist geese. With a level 2 bureaucrat and a member of your personal honor guard for security.
Yeah. Yes.
He takes a long pull from his drink and freshens it up again. So, in the event that there is a breach in the arrangement, either on two conditions, either you fail to report in on a biannual basis, or the Legion of Gold becomes resurgent again. What will be the consequences?
I will raise the facility.
You'll raise the facility. Not rebuild the facility, but raise it, like raise as in burn.
Yes, raise with a Z.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, the whole broadcasting your thoughts directly into my brain, sometimes things are a little lost in the translation.
I know what you mean.
My presence is overpowering to some, I understand.
Yeah. Well, as I'm sure you are aware, being a leader of vast numbers yourself, it's never wise to make a hasty decision. So I will invite you to stay here at my residence overnight. We'll have rooms set aside for you. We'll have a dinner in your honor this evening. And tomorrow, this afternoon, while they're preparing the dinner, and tomorrow morning, I will consult with my senior staff as well as my underbarons to discuss this proposal and I will make a final decision tomorrow, if that's acceptable, Noblebeak.
That certainly is. I wouldn't expect you to rush into any agreements. I may ask a boon.
Of course.
I citizens who staged the lovely parade for you outside. If you have stale bread, if you could perhaps just scatter it onto the street for them for a repast.
Oh, absolutely. Would they require anything else? Perhaps a stable set aside for them to rest in tonight on the warm straw?
No, they'll alight back to Goose Island. It's in Lake Michigan.
Okay. Well, excellent. I think we can arrange all that. That should not be an issue. Anything else that we can do for you this day?
I am actually going to do my subjects now. I'll leave you with Jen and General Jen and Scientist Rusty, and if they have any requests, please treat them as if they came from me.
I understand. And thank you, Noblebeak. Now,
you're most welcome. And he pads out of the room.
Yeah. Jen, Rusty, what the blue blazes? Is that Goose for real?
Yeah. He's a bit intense, isn't he?
Yes. He's a bit intense. So what exactly happened?
There's a lot of smiling and nodding.
I can see that.
What exactly?
Yeah, what exactly happened? Come on, Jen. You've been a courier for this town for years. You told
already.
Is the situation dealt with?
It's dealt with.
I mean, we're talking about human and mutant lives here. Do I need to work? I mean, I do not like hearing that another village has been attacked and people have been kidnapped. It breaks my heart.
There were multiple villages when Stick, Rusty, and I were initially heading toward the compound. We came across a village that had just been attacked.
Jefton?
That was before, yeah, it was Jefton. Rebuilding it now. Stopped there on our way back to Horn.
Yeah, that's another tragedy.
They're working hard to rebuild the town.
Could have prevented that, but Edith is up there, and she's got a good head on her shoulders.
She's fantastic.
Ralph,
husband, I'm not
else.
so.
No accounting for taste, right?
She's way too good for him.
All right.
Way too good for him. I don't.
I think I will enter into this agreement with Noblebeak. That's what it was, Noblebeak. Just out of sheer curiosity to see what happens.
That's fair.
Mayor Frump will give you your reward. He's got 500 Domars apiece set aside for you, and out of my vast appreciation for what you did, after we download the travel information out of the bubble car, born at night, not born last night, I will give to you two the bubble car for your use.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent.
And I hope you.
I look forward to experimenting with the 5-disc changer.
It's a good road trip.
I hope you will stay in the area and be amenable to any other missions I may have for you.
Of course.
We're going to flash forward to the next day at a banquet held in your honor, Noble Goose. Mayor gives a speech. Mayor gives a speech. They eat duck.
This is a fine day. The heralds you start to the relationship of our peoples, or your people and my avian flock. I feel there's much we can do beyond this together. I'm not sure if you've thought of potential benefits to having aerial allies.
Oh, indeed.
But they are many. And friends to geese are few and far between in these lands, and I now count the people of Horn and Jefton and your barony among them.
Well, I sign my signature to this document of eternal friendship between the barony of Horn and the Goose Kingdom. And I fix my seal. And not sure how you're going to sign this, Noble Beak.
So there's a crackling of light or electricity in the air, and this giant telekinetic hand forms and picks up the quill and just signs with beautiful calligraphy. Just a work of art in the name of Noble Beak. First of his name, defender of the geese, vanquisher of the swans.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay.
Huzzah!
He approaches the Baron on the side real quick.
Mhm.
As I mentioned, Baron, there are many benefits we can provide to you as scouts. We quest far and wide, so there's goods you need. We can find them as well, and if we can't carry them, as we are rather small, we can at least direct your traders to them. For this, though, I'd ask two small favors.
But
One,
of course.
You have a fine establishment of a university in this town,
Yes.
the likes of which is not seen around these shores frequently. Rusty Crab is a keen mind, brilliant scientist. I'd like you to give him a position there. It could be the Noble Chair of Robotic Research, so he may continue his work on a translator. General Jen, I know she grates on many, but surely you have a small or large cabin or house in the woods that you can lend to her use while I don't need her for campaigns.
I think we can arrange that as long as Rusty and Jen are okay with that.
I suspect they will be. And finally, a last favor. If you hear words of a magical fruit, particularly beans, it's very important to people. And no, it's not tied to gas. I get the joke now.
So let it be written.
Just stifling giggles.
So let it be done. That wraps up Legion of Gold, ending in a way that I never even envisioned it beginning at the beginning. Wow.
Sorta.
We made it.
You guys, yeah. It's like, how many characters per? An average of 2 characters per?
I'm on my second.
Yeah.
Mordecai, Whisper, Torpor, Rusty Crab.
So, 2.5, 2 1/3, something like that. That was so much fun, guys. I hadn't played Gamma World since I was in middle school or something. No, I think I played it once in high school, and I'm pretty ancient of years, so that was a long time, and that was just a great time. A great time with you guys. All 3 of you are just amazing role players. It's
been fun. It's easy. You're a good DM, so fun.
No, really appreciate it and enjoyed playing with everybody. So this was a blast.
It has been great.
It's been really fun.
Yeah, I've had a great time.
So we are going on hiatus for a couple weeks, and in early May, this same group is going to come back together for a different game, Marvel Superheroes, as published by TSR in 81, 82, I want to say. It was a really unusual game in that it used a color-coded matrix system for stats and for combat and everything was done through this weird matrix system. It's a lot of fun, and I have a feeling with this group we're going to end up with some very, very interesting superheroes who will no doubt be pretty crazy. I'm hoping beyond hope that we can figure out a way for Rusty Crab, the hero crab, to show up in the future. Well, actually, it would be the past, wouldn't it? I don't know. Parallel dimension, Earth 1.
Yeah, like we're on like Earth, like 119 or something.
Yeah. Something. But I'm going to be running them through a old adventure that was written specifically for Marvel superheroes called, I think it's called Arcade World, in which Arcade, the supervillain, kidnaps a bunch of heroes and puts them through their paces. It'll be a lot of fun because I think, given this group, the big top of Arcade World will be particularly fun. And I have to get my mad clown mind on for this. But yeah, it'll be, I think we're planning on reconvening on 7 May for the Zero session. And then we'll kick this off again in mid-May. I appreciate everybody who has been watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. It has been, at least from my perspective, more fun than I could shake a stick at. This is DMing is usually a lot of work. This has just been an insane amount of fun the whole time. So, again, hats off to the players. I'll take it around the horn for final words about Gamma World and your any final thoughts you have. But we'll go in reverse order this time. We'll start with Ryan and go up to Heather, and then.
So this is my first time playing Game World, and I have enjoyed it very much. I think at the beginning I told everybody that I got it through DriveThruRPG and paid the extra like $5 or whatever it was to get the hard or to get the bound copy of it. So I'm definitely going to take this back to like my home game with friends that I also play tabletop games with, because it really is like a brilliant system.
Just you gotta play the mini game, man.
Yeah, it's all about the mini game
whenever you can, and you have to describe it as the mini game. I'm glad you had fun. That's been great, and reintroducing people to first edition Gamma World, which has been gone for decades, has just been a hoot. But thanks for playing, Heather.
This is the first time playing Gamma World too. Like I don't even think I'd heard of it until you mentioned it. The friends who played it, but they did some of the later editions. But I would 100% play this again. It was super fun. Like I was intimidated at first when I was going through everything before we got to session 0. It looked like it was a lot. It was a lot less like
crunch than you
rule
thought.
Oriented than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
I blitzed through a lot of rules just for keep the game rolling. But no, you may have noticed I kept this final session a little open-ended, because I'm thinking maybe in the future we'll want to bring back Rusty, Jen, and Noble Beak for some sort of last hurrah.
Be fun.
We're putting the band back together.
Be awesome.
We're putting the band
back.
We have to go to Chicago to pay the taxes for the barony.
Mission from God.
And Ben, who has been playing.
It's clear that the magic character in Chicago.
Yeah,
must be.
No, I really like this a lot. Easily one of the highlights of my week, thanks to the work from XO and then Heather, Ryan, and James, and he was with us too. Didn't expect to be playing a 12-inch tall Green Digger, but I just like how the game kind of makes you lean into the weird, which is a lot of fun for that. And everyone just rolling with it was great too. So again, it's a blast, and I appreciate everything from all.
I'll bring it on home. Probably 50% of the adventure was completely ad-libbed by me as we went. Well, I mean, obviously with the players, but you guys would continually present me with situations that I was not prepared for. So it was a lot of yeah, trying to get the boater in the cane. But no, I've had a great time. Thank you so much for playing with me. And I will see you guys again in a couple weeks for our Session 0 for Marvel Superheroes. I just can't wait to see what you guys come up with. It's going to be crazy.
Very excited.
So I'll post on both Twitch and on my Twitter feed when we're going to pick this up again. And if you have enjoyed the shenanigans of Gamma World, I assure you Marvel Superheroes is probably going to be even weirder. And with these folks, as Ben said, they're going to lean into the weirdness really far. Probably to the point where they fall over, but that's okay because it'll just be funnier that way. Thanks, guys. It was a great time, and I am ending the stream. Thank you.